Okay, I'm up in here to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 2, Episode 3. The episode starts off with Britt. We get to know a little bit more about this lady. Her and her husband, Mike, they're having a family gathering. Her in-laws are coming over for dinner or something like that. She got the chef. They serving lobster. She let us know again that she was a video vixen in high school, in which I'm like, why are you telling us this? Because you was a child, so why is you using this as like some weird flex? It's not a flex. She said that she also dated Rick Ross. That is also not a flex. I would have kept that to myself, since we know that Rick Ross go through the people like every 14 business days, it seems as if. She should have kept that to herself. Being a video vixen in high school, that's not nothing to flex about, because then I'm going to say, hey, where your parents were, where was your parents? Because I think about Superhead, and not saying that she was on the level of a Superhead, but we all know what them girls go through some stuff. And the fact that she got a video out there, which that Kenya brought to the show, that got her zoned out, friend of the show now, on this suspension. Anyways, she lets us know that her dad passed away in 2015, and he was a super successful real estate professional, and he had a $2 million policy her mom was supposed to get when he passed away. Unfortunately, he was in between jobs, so they didn't get the insurance money. They had to put up a GoFundMe. She came up with the idea, hey, let's go into insurance with her sisters. She got them on board. She said that she decided to sell the company. Then one sister was saying that she was too tough in business. The other one got too comfortable. She had to fire her. I want the sister's point of view. I want to hear what they have to say. All of this stuff is not adding up as to why you sold the business. I thought you started it in your dad's name. Anyways, that was her. Also, she has been married for 3 years, and I'm confused as to, okay, if you really want your marriage to work out, why did you come on this show? We all know that couples really catch the heat when they come on these reality shows, that people gonna have their thoughts and opinions that they're gonna share that's not gonna be so nice, and that is pressure on a couple. And the couples usually don't survive these reality shows, but good luck to you. Okay, Portia and Kelly get together. Both of them, they don't know what to expect. Portia saying that Kelly got different personalities, loud, louder, and loudest. She need a strong drink in order to deal with Kelly, because she don't know what she about to receive. Kelly also is going into the situation. She's feeling nervous because she knows she made that comment coming for Portia about the Fallon situation with taking her man. She invited Portia to a Mom and Me's event that she's having at Balmain. But both of them, they chop it up. They try to figure each other out, see what type of time each other is on. Then we have Kelly, that I thought that I was going to like. She completely flips on Shamea, tells Portia, I guess she decided in that moment that she want to be best friends with Portia. So she decided to tell Portia that the way Shamea brought the information back to her in regards to what she said about her taking the woman's husband, that she didn't say it like that. Portia was like, oh, whatever, that wasn't the tone that was brought back to me. She said, no, we was just having casual conversation with Shamea. And I just said, well, I mean, why did she take that woman's husband? You said a statement, girl. That was, you didn't ask a question. And so the way Shamea brought it back was accurate. And I don't like the fact that you're throwing her under the bus now. And then Portia, you should know your friend. So Portia is like, okay, so you telling me that my friend told you to bring this stuff to me? Because she was like, well, yeah, when I had said what I said, Shamea said, well, that's something that you should ask Portia. So Portia feels like Shamea set her up to be ambushed, which I'm like, come on, Portia, come on. That don't make no sense. But Shamea, that's the reason why we cannot play the fence. You can't be cool with everybody because you see what's happening. Kelly want to be friends now with Portia, so now she's backtracking instead of standing on business and saying, yeah, girl, I thought that was messed up. Can you please shed some more light to what happened? Because the lady invited you in her house and, you know, hey, the next thing we see, you marrying him. What's up with that? But she couldn't be honest. She tried to backpedal. She did backpedal to try to get in Portia's good grace. Portia said, oh, I said you was a troll. I'll say now you're a treasure troll. Now she wants to be Princess Poppy. It was ridiculous. Okay, moving on. Drew is in the studio with some music producers and writers. You would think Dennis is supposed to be there since he's the one that's helping her with her music. He wrote a song for her. They show us he's the executive producer. Kenya, Cynthia, and Angela meets her at this studio. And they're asking her, hey, did you talk to Dennis? Like, what did he have to say about this situation with Portia? And so she said, oh, I don't talk to Dennis. You know, we just text. The producers insert a clip of her talking on the phone with Dennis. I don't know why Drew be doing all this line. It just don't make no sense. You're a grown woman, Drew. Like, it don't make no sense to be doing all this line. Anyways, she says, yeah, I mean, Dennis has been just professional. He paid for stuff. And Kenya's like, yeah, and you're out here looking like a whore. So basically, he need to come out and defend you. She was saying it in so many words. She said, well, yeah, I have been getting attacked by this group of women. Portia said, no, girl, we're not going to play the victim here. All you needed to do was run this stuff by Portia. And, you know, it's a respect level. Cynthia said the same thing. That Kenya did the same thing with her when she was working with her baby daddy, Leon. They explained it's a respect thing. She said, oh, well, I tried to get in contact with Portia multiple times. I got all of these text messages and where she tried to connect with Portia. And Portia wasn't really, I guess she was busy. I mean, she's going through a divorce and all of this stuff. But I will say this. All you had to do was text Portia and say, hey, girl, give me a call. This is in regard to Dennis. And guess what? She would have called you back that same day. So that don't make no sense, Drew. You could have just went on ahead, like Cynthia said, or call up on the phone and say what you have to say. You don't even need to get together for dinner and trying to make it all complicated and all of that type of stuff. So moving on from that. Oh, and then Angela, she said they asked her and Drew, how did everything go with Shamea? Because she kicked the whole thing off. Now, Cynthia and Kenya have an auntie moment where they forget what was said. So Angela is saying that Shamea said that, hey, it's not like I said that Drew was effing him. And they was like, oh, she definitely said that. She definitely said that, you know, they was effing. And then they played it back. No, the girl said, hey, Drew, are you and Dennis dating? That's what was said. Anyways, moving on from that, we see Angela and her husband, Charles Oakley. They meet up for their to their property number 3. They let us know that's in Sandy Hills. It's worth $850,000. They took and renovated this place. They're trying to sell it, get it together. Angela lets us know that she has convinced Charles to invest money into these properties so that they could turn a profit, and she's trying to show him, hey, we can make money like this. He's on the fence. You know, he's like, yeah, the stuff better sell. Also, we find out some tension and animosity with them, mainly on Charles Oakley's part. She tells us it was a situation where Charles Oakley got thrown out of the Madison Square Garden back in 2017. And I think I remember that situation. Now, she said that they separated after that. It sounded like she left him. Sounded like they was at odds about that situation. And really sounded like she was telling him he was wrong about something and he ain't want to hear it. And he said, get the hell on. And that's what it sounded like to me. And so they were separated for a time. Now they back together. They invested in money into all of these properties, and she want to have a vow renewal ceremony. And he's saying, I don't know about that. Let's deal with this first. Let's get these properties sold first. Plus, they're doing counseling sessions that cost $3,000 per session, and he's not cool with that. He said, hey, we should get a discount or something after going for so many times. Not understanding the counselors, they're running a business. Anyways, I don't know what's going to happen with them neither, because, again, the couples come onto these shows and they already have a fractured relationship. They usually don't make it out, intact. So, but I'm wishing them the best of luck. So then, let's see. After that, they show Shamea. Shamea is going through a whole lot. Shamea actually takes on other people's situations, and she's supportive towards these people. But then she's going through her own situation where she just had a ectopic pregnancy. So she lost, that situation with the pregnancy, took place in the fallopian tube. So had to terminate that pregnancy. I guess she's doing IVF again. She said that her estrogen levels was so high she could have had a stroke. Like, it's a lot. She has the littlest baby that was premature and having her struggles with her medical issues. You have the oldest girl that is needing to get her tonsils and adenoids out, and has begged Shamea to spend time with her and be there for her. Shamea says that she is completely overwhelmed by this situation, and usually it's overwhelmed, and it has been going through a whole lot that a lot of people don't know. And her only support system, real support system, is her mom and her sisters. And she could be there for others, but she going through her own thing. And it's a whole lot of pressure and stress on her. And I have to say this, Shamea, I'm not trying to be judgmental towards you, but I will say this. You need to slow down, because the picture that you're painting to us is you're trying to get pregnant, to have another baby. You're trying to find a surrogate, because last episode you was just trying to find a surrogate. Now we find out you're doing IVF again. And so I feel like you need to slow down, pour into yourself first, pour into yourself for your own well-being, and then you need to give that back to the babies that's here. The older girl needs you. She needs your time. She needs your support. She needs you. The youngest baby definitely need you. And then you have your husband. You have to be able to be there for all of these people along with your other family members and stuff like that. And it sounds like you're running yourself into the ground. On top of it, you have now joined this show, which also comes along with extra stresses. I don't know if she's still in this situation, because she's also now trying to be a music artist, or I don't know if she's classified as a music artist. She put out a song. She's doing a whole lot. I think she's doing acting. I don't know if she's still in radio. This lady is doing a whole lot. And as far as, when it comes to the family stuff and the babies, I feel like you need to definitely take the time and spend that time with your babies. You have a baby now that seems like, have special needs and need your attention. You need to pour it there. Find your surrogate if you want to have other babies, and put that with your surrogate. You could afford that, and get, take care of yourself. Anyways, moving on. So Kelly is having an event that she invited Portia to, but come to find out she invited all of the other girls as well. This event is going to be held at Bar Main, and it is for a foundation of osteogenesis imperfecta. She says that her 3 daughters was diagnosed with this genetic disorder, which is brittle bones. She said that her oldest daughter, at first she didn't know what was going on. She took the baby to the hospital. Then cops showed up. CPS showed up. They didn't want to let her leave. They literally thought she was abusing her child. So until a doctor had to come and confirm, look at the baby eyes, said it was a blue tint in the eyes, and diagnosed them diagnosed her with OI. And so she's trying to raise money for this foundation, and she invited Kenya and her daughter, Portia and her daughter, Drew and her kids, and then all the rest of the ladies, they're there as well as Brent, Cynthia, you know, the whole little crew. Which, side note, again, I wish, you know, I'm gonna keep on saying it, Kenya had her own peach. Anyways, so let's get into the stuff that actually was interesting, that I'm like, okay, let's get this Portia and Drew situation out the way. Drew and Portia actually sharing a hairstylist and makeup artist. Portia let us know that her makeup only took 15 minutes because Drew is basically hogging the person. Portia looks beautiful. All of the ladies look beautiful in their floral and dresses and matching babies and children and stuff like that. Shamea looked the best to me. She came through like she the bride, okay, and everybody else is bridemaids. So shout out to Nimi. She looked good. Drew want to have a conversation with Portia because Portia reached out to her and told her that she want to have a conversation, right? So she tries to go and approach Portia. This is towards the end, and tell the Portia, you know, hey, you want to have a conversation right now? Portia is like, yeah, I'm not feeling good. Let's just do it at another time. This is not the place, not the time. So she was like, no, let's do it now. Portia is intimidated because Drew has her sister there, and she proceeds to call this lady Heavy D. So she's like, I'm not about to be doing this. This is 2-on-1. Girl, just had a conversation. Have the conversation. You're trying to dictate everything and run everything, Portia. Don't like that. Okay, so Shamea and Angela. Angela approaches Shamea. Now, Shamea is already salty because she invited Angela to her home for her birthday party, and she don't even really know her. But then Shamea met up with Drew and Angela when they went to work out. And she felt like Angela came at her wrong by, you know, she was questioning her like, hey, you know, so you kicked that whole thing off with Portia. Like, why are you not letting Portia speak for herself? Why are you speaking for Portia? Let Portia, you know, do her own thing, which I agree to a certain extent. And definitely now, because Portia is a flip-flopper with you. So yeah, Portia need to definitely handle her own business. And that's what Kenya and Drew and them, well, Kenya and Cynthia and them was saying as well when they met up with Drew at the studio, saying, look, Portia can handle her own business. She don't need Shamea to do that. Okay, so Shamea, Angela approaches Shamea and said, hey, we got off on the wrong foot. Shamea's like, yeah, you think so? So she was like, well, you know, can we go ahead on and we can meet up, you know, talk or whatever? And she was like, yeah, because I would like to know who's the real Angela. Anytime you say that, Shamea, people, anytime you say those words of, I would like to know who is the real you, that is, yeah, you don't want to, you don't want to reconcile after that, saying something like that, because you're just going to trigger that person. That person is going to be triggered. She said, oh no, it was the real me. It was the real me. So then Shamea proceeds to say, oh, well, you know what? It is the real you. Go ahead on and you stand in that. Because you felt like that, so stand in that. And matter of fact, I'm good on you. And then she proceeds to walk away. And Angela didn't know how to take it. She was thrown back, like she was shocked. Like, really? Really? And this is how you're going to handle me or whatever? So she was like, oh, Shamea, you're a mean girl. Matter of fact, your name should be Shamina, which I thought was, you know, it's kind of lame. But anyways, Shamea was like, girl, you better go on somewhere with that 99 nose. Shamea, the lady did a little funny wordplay on your name. You went straight for her nose. Like you was waiting on that or something. Shamea was going in like, you know, you went to the doctor and you told them to give you that one. That's the nose that you picked out. Now listen, I understand when people is in a battle, you know, you can't tell people how low to go. That was pretty low though, because you're attacking her looks. You know, she did that for a reason. Clearly her self-esteem wasn't there with her original nose. And so that may be a sensitive spot for her, Shamea. I believe Shamea gonna have to back that up, clean that up or whatever, because, you know, these days, you know, women, we try to support each other and uplift each other and not go in on each other's about the looks. Not physical appearance or nothing like that. Not our body size or body weight. Nothing like that. And you talk about the dress, you can talk about the hair, but not the physical features. So everybody was shocked by that. They went and separated them because they was getting real hot and heated. And they're like, hey, the children are here. The children are here. This is not the time. This is not the place. Don't do this here with these children. They separate them. Everybody's coming to ask Shamea, hey, why did you attack her on her physical appearance? That wasn't cool. Like, what happened? And she was like, well, she called me Flavor Flav, so we're even. Because, you know, Shamea said what she said. Angela was like, okay, Flavor Flav. So Shamea was like, yeah, I mean, I dressed up as Flavor Flav for Halloween, but I didn't know she was going to show up on today as LaToya Jackson. Shamea, you was just waiting. I could tell you was just waiting. She, yeah, tore into that lady. And that was basically it, y'all. That was the episode. Tell me what you think about this episode. Comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you for coming through.